Dominique Fontaine, you are suing Camille and Preston DeWitt. You say they owe you $14,500 for wedding planning services.
They bring up the idea of a Great Gatsby wedding.
This was your dream wedding.
Unfortunately, I should have seen all the red flags.
It looked like you were going to a funeral. It was much darker tones. It was not at all what we agreed upon. I was so distraught and in such a state of grief, I could barely enjoy our honeymoon.
I received a bounced check in a glittered envelope.
So you essentially wrote a bad check.
If I order a sandwich and someone gives me a donut, I'm not going to pay for it.
For the first time, we're bringing justice to you. Your location is the courtroom, and the truth has nowhere to hide.
That tells me all I need to know. I understand you don't like each other. I don't care.
Judge Faith, a former criminal prosecutor, legal analyst, and now creator of the first courtroom where justice has no walls, filters, or boundaries. Only truth. Virtual Justice with Judge Faith.
Hey there, it's your favorite judge. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit the subscribe button to join the fastest growing court community on YouTube. Remember, virtual justice doesn't happen without you. So go ahead, subscribe, or risk being held in contempt. Miss Dominique Fontaine.
Yes, Your Honor.
You are suing Camille and Preston DeWitt.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
You say they owe you $14,500 for wedding planning services. You say you delivered your services. They did not pay you, but you understand the maximum I can award you in this courtroom is $5,000?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, let's start with you, Miss Fontaine. Why don't you give me some background? Tell me about how you met the DeWitts. I understand they ended up hiring you as their wedding planner. Tell me about that, and let's start with the background of your professional relationship with them.
Absolutely. A little background about myself first, Your Honor. I'm a wedding planner. I've been working in Atlanta for about 15 years now, and I work with high luxury weddings and very high profile clients. So celebrities, politicians, you name it. I love what I do, and I know I'm very good at it. So I met Camille and I met Preston at a wedding expo. They asked for an initial consultation. So we met at this restaurant. This is in March 2023. And we're at this restaurant. We're chatting, getting to know each other. And then they bring up the idea of a Great Gatsby wedding. And honestly, this is the ultimate party. This is what inspired my career. It inspires all of my work. So I'm excited. Camille's excited. We're quoting Gatsby in the restaurant.
That's the theme that
Yes.
they proposed to you, and you thought it was a great idea.
Yes. To speak in wedding terms, this felt like a match made in heaven. But obviously it's not, because here we are.
Okay, and I'll start with you, Miss DeWitt. Did you know who Miss Fontaine was, and did you seek out her services in the Atlanta area?
Yes, I was. I work in the content creation space. I've been following Dominique's work for a while, and I was really excited to work with her. I agree. I think the consultation went really well, and I think the ideas that we had were fantastic, but what was executed was not what we planned at all.
Okay, and what about you, Mr. DeWitt? Were you at this initial meeting as well?
It was,
you come?
yes.
You were at the initial meeting. And what was your impression of Miss Fontaine and her work and her reputation in the community, if you knew about it?
Yeah, well, Your Honor, I did as much research as I could because this was our dream wedding. I've been with Camille for many years now, and I wanted this to go as smoothly as it could, as best as it could, as long as we've been thinking about it. And Dominique's, like you said, reputation was very impressive, and she was saying all the right things, and I was more than happy to move forward with it. And unfortunately, I should have seen all the red flags.
Okay, so the two of you did get married, am I right?
We did.
Yes.
Okay, well, congratulations
Thank
You very much.
on the wedding actually happening. But I read your paperwork, and there's a lot that appeared to happen after the wedding that really is the cause for the lawsuit and for you bringing this case, Miss Fontaine. So let's talk about the planning process.
Right.
So you planned this Gatsby-style wedding.
hmm
There is a budget. I understand that the DeWitts paid a deposit to you to hire you for your services. The wedding included imported florals, a champagne tower, floating candles, six-piece band, custom printed menu. So for you, Miss Fontaine, you said that this was your dream wedding to plan because the DeWitts had the money to pay, or so you thought. And how was the planning process with them? Were they good to work with?
They were good to work with, although Camille did constantly request upgrades for the gram, and at
For
the
the
same
gram,
time,
you
yes,
mean Instagram?
absolutely, Your Honor.
What do you mean by
Her-
upgrades for the gram?
just upgrades. Let's do something bigger. Let's do something flashier,
Did
more
she say
elegant.
it was for social media? Is that what you're saying? She
Correct.
specifically said for social media?
Uh,
Okay.
she used for the gram.
Oh, because you're an influencer.
Yes, I'm a
Got it.
content creator.
Okay.
That's one of my main
That makes
sources of
sense.
income.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead, Miss Fontaine.
Yes, so she's requesting upgrades. I love that. I love the challenge. But also requesting payment extensions at the same time. And then I start to find out some of my vendors now are not being paid. So I started to cover a few of the costs because my name is on the line. Those things can happen. They are red flags, but they can happen. I try to give my clients the benefit of the doubt. Um, the wedding, then, if can I continue to the wedding? We're okay to
Yes,
discuss the
please.
wedding? Yeah, okay. We have the wedding on August 5th. It was great. No complaints. Everyone's happy. The next day, I'm still so proud of the work. I receive a check in the mail. It's in a glittered envelope. I deposit the check and then it bounced. So I received a bounced check in a glittered envelope.
Coming up,
It looked like you were going to a funeral. It was much darker tones. It was not at all what we agreed upon.
Are you here, Miss Sanchez?
What I presented was done with professionalism. It was done with their request, and it looked amazing.
But was this what you all agreed to? How much was the check written to you for?
$14,500, Your Honor.
$14,500, and you say that check bounced and you never received that money, correct? Okay, so who wants to speak about that, Mr. Preston or Miss Camille? Talk to me about the wedding and what happened with the check.
Well,
I'll
our families. Oh, you could go ahead, sweetie.
Oh, go. Oh, thank you,
Oh,
honey.
yeah.
Well, I first of all just want to say that it was quite embarrassing. First of all, that we're hearing how wonderful the wedding was. When I'm sure my wife can also attest to it. It was quite embarrassing, actually, all of the missing pieces in the wedding. Obviously, best day of my life, but it was really hard to miss some of the missing details, such as the
Mhm,
missing tear on the wedding cake, the
mhm,
incorrect color on some of the flowers, which stood out to the theme pretty horrendously, and also the flower arch that was mentioned did
mhm.
show up late and in front of some of our most beloved and important people in our lives, just all these things to kind of go wrong last minute was very, very embarrassing because they also know how much money and time and thought we put into this day.
When you say late, how late are we talking about?
It was 15 minutes.
Oh, okay, 15 minutes. You said there
Mhm,
was a missing tier on the wedding cake,
mhm.
and there was something wrong with the color scheme when it came to the florals
Yes.
as well. Okay,
Yes,
and
we
what do you have
agreed
to
on
say,
sham Oh,
Camille?
sorry. We agreed on a champagne color scheme. I wanted very light, bright, very elegant for Great Gatsby. The flowers that showed up that were everywhere that you just could not miss, it looked like you were going to a funeral. It was much darker tones. It was not at all what we agreed upon. The tear was missing in the wedding cake. Everything's late. Honestly, it was one of the best days of my life, but it was one of the most stressful.
Your Honor,
Is any of this true?
so I confirmed details and I have evidence on we confirmed what I was bringing to the wedding, the way things were going to go. I have that. And I don't know if we can bring in the witness at this time, but I do have a witness who will discuss the flowers and she was not late for the wedding.
Okay, Mariah Sanchez, Miss Sanchez, according to your witness list. Are you here, Miss Sanchez?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm here.
Miss Sanchez, you were the florist for the DeWitt wedding. Am I correct, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you paid for your services?
No, I was not.
You were not
So,
paid?
no.
Okay, tell me what happened.
Okay, I did arrive 12 minutes late due to road closures. It wasn't that I didn't get there on time to have everything set up. Everything was beautifully done. My flowers were not just regular flowers that you pick from the side of the road. I had imported flowers that she specifically requested. It
Mhm.
was a Gatsby theme, so I put a couple of dark tones, but I'm sure you have pictures of what I presented and how beautiful and romantic and elegant it looked. What I presented was done with professionalism. It was done with their request, and it looked amazing. And I'm sure
But
there's
what
pictures.
yes, I understand you submitted pictures and I have looked at the photos, but was this what you all agreed to in terms of the color scheme, Miss
No.
Yes.
Sanchez?
Oh, yes, it was. Yes, it was. Camille,
Okay.
yes, it was.
Let
Yes,
me
it
see the
was.
flowers and then I want to see the messages between the two of you. Let's look at the florals. Okay. It looks beautiful, but you're saying, Camille, the dark color flowers were not supposed to be a part of this theme.
No, not at all, and as you can see, they clearly take over the entire bouquet, and that's what it was like for the entire venue. We agreed on
Your Honor,
champagne, light tones, that's not what we discussed whatsoever.
Your Honor, she said a romantic look. She said for it to look elegant. And if it would have been light pinks and blues, is it a child's wedding? Is it you want an
It
adult
was mine.
Gatsby theme?
Let's
That's
hope
what I
not.
wanted.
Okay, so and I'm looking at emails between the two of you confirming the final decor elements.
Absolutely, Your Honor.
Okay, I just want to look at this. This is between Miss Fontaine and Camille. The ceremony, the floral arch with blush and champagne accents. Okay, and then you responded, you said, yes, this looks amazing. Can't wait to see it all come to life. Decor elements are looking confirmed for your approval. Let's talk about the money and the florals. Let's get this
Mhm,
resolved. Your
mhm,
invoice, Miss Sanchez, let's pull up the invoice. These are all the services you provided. So the total due, you were paid a deposit. The
mhm.
remaining balance, $4,935, remains unpaid. You were not paid for those services. Am I correct?
Yes, you are, Your Honor.
And you're saying, Miss Camille, that you
Mhm,
withheld payment to her as well.
mhm.
She's not suing you, by the way, but you
Not
withheld
yet.
payment to her as well because you said you were disappointed in the color scheme, that it wasn't the right
Yes,
color scheme.
it
But
was
here's
not
the
at all what we
issue.
discussed.
But there was a discussion and it appears to be a little vague. Did you not see photos of the arrangements in advance? Did you approve a mock-up of the florals?
Yes, I did, but
Yes.
we discussed very light champagne tones. I was never shown an exact picture of what it would actually look like. It was just discussed to be more light and bright and Great Gatsby toned.
So accept the services, but um, don't pay for them? Come on.
If
Your
it
Honor,
wasn't what
she
we paid for,
wanted
it
a
wasn't what we agreed
Ferrari
upon.
wedding on a bike share budget.
If I
That is
order a
what they
sandwich and
wanted.
someone gives me a donut, I'm not gonna pay for it.
Coming up,
No communication.
Preston and I, we were on our honeymoon, we were just kind of trying to process.
I reached out and in fact they blocked me. She tagged the Dove guy and blocked me, the wedding planner.
You do not get to just ghost people, not pay them, and then come into court and say, oh, we had all of these issues, and they've never been mentioned.
If I order a sandwich and someone gives me a donut, I'm not gonna pay for it.
She didn't say nothing about, I don't want anything dark. I don't want any roses. I don't want any. If that would have been reiterated or stated in the beginning, we wouldn't have an issue. But it wasn't stated. And I was so excited, so excited to work with Dominique because she is such an amazing wedding planner. And I know Dominique did her job to the T of what she was supposed to do and what she was expected to do. And everything looked
Mhm.
beautiful as planned. And I was appalled when she reached out to me and said she hadn't been paid either if I was willing to be a witness. And I'm like, well, I was trying to see what was happening. I mean, I gave them some time because the wedding, their honeymoon, I have other events and weddings and activities that I plan out. So, but it's ridiculous to hear her say this now. I haven't heard a negative comment about anything. She just went blank,
You
missing
wait,
after
hold
the
on a
wedding.
second. Hold on a second. You're saying Miss Sanchez, after the wedding, she never told you about the issues with the florals?
No. This is the first time I hear about the floral darkness and the whatever. Like I
So
said,
you've been following up. Hold on, Miss Sanchez. This is important. You've been following up with the DeWitts, and you're saying that they have never talked to you and told you there was an issue with the florals, and that's why you weren't paid.
yes, yes, there was nothing at all. It was just
Is that
silence
true? Is that
afterwards.
true, Preston and Camille, that you have never
Yes.
communicated with Miss Sanchez? Really?
I was in shock. I was so devastated. Preston and I, we were on our honeymoon. We were just kind of trying to process. It's not probably
Okay, it's been
right the way that we
months.
went
It's
about
been
it.
months. Hold on a
Yes.
second. Hold on a second. It's been months. So I just want to be clear. From the wedding until now, you have not communicated with Miss Sanchez that you had issues with her florals. Am I correct on this?
Yes, Your
Correct,
Honor.
because we were
Okay.
in communication with Dominique about it.
But you pay Miss Sanchez. She's the one that's supposed to be paid. Okay, I'm gonna go back to you, Miss Fontaine. You get a check for $14,500, and you said that it bounced. And you submitted proof. Let me see that check that was made out to you.
And I did not receive any communication from Preston or Camille, Your Honor.
You're
There
saying no
was no
communication with
communication.
you either.
No communication. I reached out, and in fact, they blocked me.
Is that true? The DeWitts, either
Yes.
one of you. Okay, why?
Honestly, after the wedding, I just really didn't want to speak to her. I feel like I really needed time to process. If I could go back and do things differently, I would.
So why did you write out a $14,000 check to Miss Fontaine?
It was our family's accountants. They kind of handle everything. We just sort of give the okay. But right after the wedding, I had them cancel the check immediately.
What happened after the wedding? You start communicating. You said there's no communication. What happened?
After the wedding, Camille puts together this curated album that she puts out on Instagram, the gram, and she tags every vendor and personally thanks each one at this from this phenomenal wedding, but not me. She tagged the Dove guy and blocked me, the wedding planner.
I tagged people who I would recommend to others.
Do you have the post, Miss
The
Fontaine?
post, Your Honor.
Okay. Mrs. DeWitt, you write, still floating from the most magical day of our lives. Thank you to all the incredible vendors who made our Gatsby dream a reality. We will never forget it. And you wrote that, right, Mr. DeWitt?
I did. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so this was the most magical day of your life, but you don't want to pay your wedding planner and you don't want to pay your florist.
I mean, that goes to social media isn't real. It's just a curated idea of what we put out there. It was an amazing day, but I'm just saying I'm not someone who's going to let everything and let the little things get to me. But a lot of the things that went wrong, it really did damper the day. I feel like your wedding day should be the most special, magical day of your life, and that's not at all what it was.
And so after this is over, you and Mr. DeWitt, I just want to understand this. You block your wedding planner. You do not reach out to her and you do not communicate that you had any issue whatsoever with the ceremony, with the event, with the florals, with the timing of someone being late. None of those issues you discussed with her after the wedding, but you simply stop payment on her check. Am I right? No discussion with her. Am I
The
right?
the issues were
Yes, Your
very
Honor.
obvious.
Yes
Dominic,
or
They have
no, Mr. DeWitt, I'm asking a question. Yes or no? Am I right about this?
Yes, Your
yes,
Honor.
Your Honor.
Okay, if you have an issue and you owe somebody $14,500 and you write a check, you can say your accountant did it, whatever, whatever. You communicate what that issue is. You make a record of it. You do not get to just ghost people, not pay them, and then come into court and say, oh, we had all of these issues and they've never been mentioned. You do not get to just ghost people, not pay them, and then come into court and say, oh, we had all of these issues and they've never been mentioned from that day to this day. And then you block them, you don't communicate, because what that makes it look like, it makes it look like you just don't want to, you just don't want to pay. And because I know influencers, you get a lot of free stuff. You get a lot of free stuff. But these folks weren't giving you things for free. They don't care about being tagged on Instagram. They saw they were left off, but they're not trying to get followers. They're not trying to get likes. They're trying to get paid. And my issue is, and what really causes this case to move in a different direction is the fact that afterwards, you stopped all communication. You never once raised any of the issues. Now is your defense in court today. but it hasn't been your defense prior to today.
Want more? Get weekly insights on the law, love, and real life sent straight to your inbox. Join my community at judgefaithjenkins.com. Subscribe to me on YouTube at judgefaithjenkins and follow me everywhere: Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook.
And writing a bounce check, by the way, the check bounced, according to Miss Fontaine. You did not stop payment on it, according to Miss Fontaine. It bounced. So you essentially wrote a bad check. So you essentially committed a felony. Do you want her to go to the local police precinct and present this check to them? Or would you rather us take care of it here in court today? That's what I thought. My judgment in this case is for Miss Fontaine for the full $5,000. I'm not sure. I understand why you sue in small claims court, because you don't have to hire a lawyer. You don't have to pay the expenses of hiring an attorney. However, you're owed the full amount that you're due, which is $14,500. I'm not buying your excuses. Don't roll your eyes at me. When somebody renders a service and you have a problem with it, you raise that issue prior to you coming to court, because now it looks like it's just convenient. You're trying to backtrack and figure out a way you don't have to pay her. It's not going to work here. And you also owe Miss Sanchez, but she didn't file a lawsuit today. So I would encourage you, Miss Sanchez, I would encourage you to file a lawsuit if they're not willing to pay and get your money. Because I'm telling you now, I'm going on record to say you owe her as well. The DeWitts have a counterclaim for emotional distress. I would love to hear about how you have been distressed emotionally.
Well, I mean, the wedding that we've been planning, it's been our dream wedding since I was a little girl. It's all I've ever wanted. And everything was supposed to go off without a hitch. And when it didn't, I was so distraught and in such a state of grief that I honestly, I mean, Preston knows I could barely enjoy our honeymoon. We spent most of it just in our room, kind of crying and going over like what could have been.
Really? Your counterclaim is dismissed. Judgment in this case for the plaintiff, $5,000.
Thank you, Your Honor.